Okay, and I'm back. Sorry about that. It was not an emergency, thank God. Okay, so where was I? All right, so when we are dealing with leaving an abuser, yes, we are absolutely addicted. Abso-freaking-lutely addicted. And treating it with the 12 steps is the best way to go. And what I was going to do is I was going to say Rick Points, okay, is a therapist, not a therapist, he's a life coach that I love working with. Let me get you guys his number while I'm thinking about it because I've got my phone right here. So Rick Point is a life coach that works out of Iowa. He can do Skype calls. He can do long distance stuff. I can't because I'm limited to working with people that are residents of Arizona. That does not mean you can just fly in and see me. It means you have to actually freaking live here and have an address. I don't know. Dumb. Anyway, so Rick Point is very skilled in addiction. Totally skilled in addiction, and he totally gets the abuse part. He and I talk all the time, and I train him all the time on what to look for and things to help and interventions and things like that. So his phone number is 480-220-9992, and that's Rick Point. He is a life coach. He's out of Iowa. He's awesome. Okay. Okay. I'm sorry, guys. Sorry about that. It's just when people call me repeatedly and then leave a voicemail, I'm a little nervous, but it was not an emergency. Okay. If you have to deal with a parent who constantly blames you for blaming others for your problems when they themselves are the abusive problems, gaslighting is reminding yourself you are enough and that they are just projecting their internal conflict. The right way to deal with it, just hold on to yourself. Get away from them. Do not. Look, if they were not family, would you have anything to do with them? That is the classic question that I ask. If you were not related to these people, would you have anything to do with them? Hello, Carolyn. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Would you have anything to do with them? And if the answer is no, act accordingly. Because if you're still with the abuser, whether the abuser is the parent, or the love interest, or friend, or work coworker, or a boss, or any of those, if you're constantly subjected to being put down and told you're shit and told you're terrible and this, that, and the other thing, then you're never going to get better, because it's kind of like, okay, you've got a house and you've got a coffee table, and the way the coffee table is positioned, you keep banging your knee into the coffee table, and pretty soon there's this nasty cut there. Well, if you move the coffee table out, the cut will heal. Or if you rearrange the furniture, the cut will heal. But what we do is we just keep banging into the coffee table, hoping that it's going to be different somehow this time. That's called the definition of an insanity. Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different outcome. You cannot how does the saying go? You cannot hang out with turkeys and expect to soar with eagles, basically. So if somebody, no matter who they are, is harming you, get the hell out. Get the hell out. Get away. Get away, get away, get away. Get with a therapist. Work on your self-esteem. Get with a good therapist. Work on your self-esteem. The Self-Esteem Workbook by Schiraldi. The Self-Esteem Workbook by Schiraldi. The Object of My Affection is in My Reflection. Coping with a Narcissist by Raquel Lerner. All of these things. So yeah, start working on you. Get out. That's the best thing I can tell you. Okay, I have a friend with DID whose teenager inner child is her other self. However, she's struggling because she doesn't feel like she can just come out and be herself because of the stigma of DID and the fact that her father made her feel like she was wrong to exist. Oh, sweetheart. I bought her the Inner Child Workbook, and that's helping, but are there any other things she can do to feel comfortable? Yes. Okay, so first of all, she needs to be with a therapist. Second of all, DID is common in abuse, guys, especially if there was sexual abuse as a child or extreme physical abuse as a child, because we disassociate. I say it wrong, and people yell at me all the time, and it's like, fuck you. You know what I'm saying. We dissociate. We go bye-bye. We go float up into the corner of the room. We create a different persona. It's a way to survive trauma. So trauma is the key. CPTSD, From Surviving to Thriving by Pete Walker. Now, that is going to trigger the living crap out of her. Warn her about that and tell her to take it in tiny chunks. But that's why I'm saying she needs to be with a good therapist. Abso-freaking-lutely. Yes, I have worked with people that have had extreme trauma, that have had DID. Do they get better? Yes, they do. You can integrate the personalities, and you can make it safe for them to not leave their bodies when shit goes sideways. So yeah, it's Self-Esteem Workbook. CPTSD from Surviving to Thriving by Pete Walker. Get with a damn good therapist that can help her integrate those personalities. And there should be no stigma on that. It's a response to trauma. It's a natural response to trauma. So not everybody dissociates. Not everybody does. Some people do. Just like some people are prone to CPTSD or to PSD, and some people are not. It depends on the person's makeup. It depends on their home situation. It depends on a lot of things. Nature, nurture, you know? So there should be no stigma with that at all. Okay. What helped me the most to get up the courage to leave my ex? I kept a diary of how he treated me. Yes, absolutely. Why? Because we minimize. Okay, so every fight, every time he verbally tore me down, freaked out on me for leaving a fan on during the day, etc. I planned to leave for about 6 months because I moved across the country. But every time I thought maybe he really did love me, I read what I wrote in that book, and it helped me stay on track and get out of here. It's been nearly a year since my Independence Day, and I'm so happy I left and have taken my life back. Power to the people. That's exactly what we need to do, because what we do is we minimalize and we excuse and we rationalize and we, you know, oh no, it's not that bad. Oh well, you know, they're being nice to me now. They should be nice to you all the time. Period. That's a healthy relationship. Are there going to be disagreements? Yeah, but you're never not nice to the person. And if you're not nice to the person, then Houston, there's a problem. So, okay, good for you, Michelle. Absolutely good for you. Yeah, keep a journal of what they do to you. Now, if you're in the abusive relationship, make sure that journal is safe because they will use it against you. Trust me on that one. So, yeah, and this is especially when you leave the relationship, you want to make sure that you keep a running list of everything they did to you because the Hoover will happen. This is what these people do, okay? So, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they don't think like normal people who have empathy. The abuser doesn't. They don't have regret. They don't have, wow, you know, I shouldn't have treated that person this way. They don't have those thoughts. They don't. And they don't act like normal people. So, all right. Okay, running out of time. I've got about 15 minutes or so. Okay. April Fools. Okay, so Easter is falling on April Fool's Day this year. And I've never been a fan of April Fool's Day, ever. I think it's cruel, and I think people who enjoy April Fools and making people look foolish and being cruel to people are probably abusers. So families especially will do nasty things, you know, to each other and to their kids. So April Fool's Day, I've never liked. Never. You know, there's enough fake news stories out there now without April Fool's Day. So if you have an abusive family, you may want to avoid them on that day. So just to be aware, it's April Fool's Day. You know, how do I explain this? Healthy, normal people that have empathy love humor. I love humor. You know that. I love to laugh. It's my favorite thing ever. And I love gentle humor that points out the human condition. That stuff I love. I will listen to that all day long. I cannot stand humor that is snarky, nasty, putting somebody down at somebody else's expense, making somebody feel less than. That's not humor, that's abuse. So yeah, what is DID? Dissociative, so it's dissociative identity disorder. So DID is when somebody actually creates other personas, they've dissociated, or they have left their body while stuff is going on. That's dissociative identity disorder. Okay, so that just is a way of coping with trauma. Okay, after 20 years of drug addiction, could an NPD be motivated enough to, by the risk of losing or a so far unattainable relationship, to be able to achieve and maintain sobriety purely in order to play a long game tactic to win, force the victim to break these new boundaries, and or convince somebody they've changed? Would it be something they'd actually do? Would the chase of the victim be better than the drug? See, now that's a hard one, Poppy, because here's the thing. When somebody is in the thrall of addiction, okay, whether it's alcohol or drugs or person or anything else, we say and do things we would not or otherwise normally do, okay? And it's really hard to tell what is the drug, what is the personality disorder. And that's why you can't really tell what's going on until the person becomes sober. Now, if they are truly in PD, their behavior will not change and it will not stick, okay? Because they think they know everybody better than everybody else, and they don't need to get sober, and they don't need to be clean because they know better than the doctors, and they know better than this, and they know better than that. So it depends. It's like if without the drugs and the alcohol, they suddenly have an epiphany, and they're like, oh, shit balls, I have a lot of amends to make. Okay, they go and they make the amends. Now, there's going to be times when people are going to tell them to go fuck themselves, and that's because the amends are not about the other person. The amends are about us taking responsibility for our behavior. And if that behavior truly changes and truly stays, so we're talking like for a 3-year period, like they've stayed clean and sober, they've made amends, they're humble, they've got their ego out of the way, they understand what they did wrong, they take responsibility for it, yeah, then there's a change going. And it was the drugs and the alcohol influencing the behavior. If, however, it is a personality disorder, remove the drugs and the alcohol and the asshole is still there. Does that make sense? And the behavior won't change and you'll see it. So that's how you tell. But you got to get rid of the drugs and the alcohol first to see, okay, is it the drugs and the alcohol influencing the behavior, or is it the personality disorder that they were trying to self-medicate and the personality disorder is still there? So that's what you got to look at. Okay, and no, they're not able to maintain the mask for very long. They won't be able to maintain the fake niceness or whatever if they're really in PD. Can they be malignant if they don't isolate you? I isolate myself already, but they do blame you for everything, dig into your insecurities, get high and giddy off and discarding and verbally putting you down. Let me make this clear. Malignancy is when somebody enjoys harming somebody else. I think you answered your own question. They enjoy harming somebody else, and the behavior continues. It happens over and over and over and over and over again. That's malignant. They're enjoying it. They're doing it on purpose. That's malignant. When they are intentionally harming somebody, that's malignant. They have reached malignancy. Why do I have a huge need to be hugged by closest girlfriend? Well, we all need human touch, guys. We all need human touch. We're pack animals. We are pack animals. It takes a tribe. That's why we need friends. That's why we need family. Healthy family, healthy friends. That's why when we've got a good situation with good coworkers, it's phenomenal because we got our tribe. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we need human touch. That's one of the things. It's one of our love languages. Remember the 5 love languages? It's physical touch, acts of service, gifts, words of affirmation, and quality time. So those are all of our love languages. So it could be that you are just starving for your love language. So yeah, there you go. Okay, yeah, this is a sudden sobriety without any treatment of any kind. I think you know the answer. Oh yeah, no. This is what kills me, is that addicts often will say, I can do it myself. I don't need treatment. I don't need AA. I don't need this. I don't need, well, that's called white knuckling it. It's called white knuckling it, and it's not going to stick. Guarantee it. In my case, remove the alcohol and I changed, but he didn't. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Okay, so let me answer one more question here. Jobs that are run by abusers. Okay. So when I was talking last week about how abusers use the techniques that POW camps, the prisoner of war camps would use on prisoners, right? Sleep deprivation, putting them down, physical abuse, lack of food, keeping them starving, that type of thing. You will see this in dysfunctional work organizations as well. How many work organizations have you heard about? I mean, I have a lot of people coming and sitting on my couch telling me about this. Hang on just a second. That their work organization will demand that they put in overtime. And, if they're commission-based, well, you need to work 60, 70, 80 hours a week, and that then leads to sleep deprivation, right? Well, legally we have to give you a lunch, but, such and such's file needs to be done. I hear that a lot too. So then people skip lunches. Okay, so now we're sleep deprived, we're working sometimes double what we should be working, and then we're not eating right because the boss is demanding it. So yeah, is that abusive? You betcha. You betcha. Get the fuck out. You don't need a job like that. Find a different job. Find a different corporate culture. Is it scary? Yes. But if they are to the point where you are running, and you have absolutely no social life and no home life, and you're sleep deprived, and you're not eating your lunch, and you're not eating a good dinner, and you're not exercising because you're chained to the desk, that's abusive. Get out. Get out. Get out, get out, get out, get out, get out, get out. Don't put up with it. Absolutely. Fire departments, yeah, they do that, but they do feed their boys well. My nephew's a fireman too. Okay. All right. I worked at a spa and never had a break to eat. That's not good. You got to eat. Got to eat. Got to feed that fuel. I am so isolated right now. I'm just having a bad week. I've checked every day this week to make sure my narc is still in jail after a PTSD incident over the weekend. Oh, sweetie. Stay safe. If you need to, file a restraining order if you have to. Absolutely. Got clean on my own, and I've been clean now for 8 years. Can't say everyone can't do it. JD, you are the exception, not the rule. Okay, the exception, like it is rare. Okay, okay. I just find it so sad that I can't call my family when I need guidance because they use it as a chance to abuse. So what you're going to have to do, Kaylee, is you're going to have to make your own family. And that's kind of what I had to do. So I left home when I was 17 because I couldn't take it anymore. My dad was becoming more and more physically abusive, both sexually and physically. And I was like, no, no. So I had to find my own family. I had to find my own tribe. And that was not always blood. So it was a lot of friends. It was a lot of distant relatives that were actually healthy. You know, it was a lot of not blood relatives. So you find your own tribe. You just got to go out there and find them. They're there. You got to find them. And you don't have to rely on family. Does it suck that we don't have the family? Yeah. Does our little inner child wish that we could pick up the phone and be like, hey, normal family, let's be normal? Yeah, we do. We wish that. But it's never going to happen. What is that we've got a fucked up dysfunctional family, and we're going to have to find our support outside. Support groups are great. However, caveat, a lot of support groups also have predators in them. So you got to be careful. You got to be careful. But sometimes support groups are a great way to go. You know, you find your tribe that way. Or you go do a hobby that you are very, very, very interested in. And you go do that. And that's how you find your tribe. So I take extracurricular classes outside of what I do all of this because apparently I don't have enough to do in my life. And that's my tribe. That's where I go hang out with people that I love. So that's what you do. You go do what you love and you go find your tribe. Absolutely. Okay. I'm sorry, you're sober using Easy Way by Ellen Carr. Great for me. I got tired of being blamed for all the problems. I changed my unhealthy behavior. Guess how much things got better. Yeah, it's amazing what happens when we get rid of the drugs and the alcohol. Oh, yeah. Okay. If it's a small town, Leanne, and if they've heard all the lies, you may not want to go to that AA meeting. You may want to drive to a different meeting in a different town. That's what I would do, honestly. The sobriety's worth it, honestly. So if he's done the smear campaign, you may want to find a different meeting in a different town, at least for a while, because, you know, AA meetings are fluid. Not everybody stays in the meetings forever. Even in a small town, it comes and goes kind of thing. So for the now, you might want to go to a different town just to be on the safe side. So, yes, it is easier said than done getting away from the abuser. And yes, they do financially abuse us. Absolutely. So what they do is they keep us in a financial situation where we can't afford an attorney. So what they do is they do the whole, oh, you don't have to work. I can't tell you the number of times I've heard that one. You don't have to work. You'll stay home and raise the kids, and I'll do all the working. But meanwhile, they're punishing you for every day they have to go to work. And when you finally get to the point where you're like, peace out, they've made it so that you have no resume, you can't get a job, your skills are outdated, you know, you don't have enough money for an attorney. Yeah, they financially ruin us. That's why I'm saying it's really, really important that if you're planning on leaving, get a job. Stash money away, even if it's like a minimum wage thing, you know. But then the other thing that the abusers will do is they'll demand to see the paycheck, and they'll demand to know where the money's going, and blah, 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 blah. So you've got to find a way to stash money. That's one of the most important things. It is hard. It absolutely is hard. The judge signed off on illegal stuff. He's being investigated, but this has taken 4 years. Yeah. Yeah, Yeah. When you don't have the money, it's difficult. I've been using my money to survive. I have 3 kids at home. Yeah, absolutely, Carlita. I'm so sorry. And they do that. Yeah, absolutely. I've got a client that was drugged to court every year for 15 years by this guy. And the judges finally started catching on and just started, you know, nope, 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 nope. But she still had to hire an attorney every single time she went back, and she had kids too. And it was heartbreaking. It's like, you clearly don't care about the children. Dog face banana patch. Okay, I got 9 minutes and then I gotta go. Okay. Okay. Oh, cool. You're gonna be in Atlanta. Oh, awesome. Carlita, I'd love to see you. That'd be awesome. So while we mentioned that, so aside from the book signing tomorrow, and at Tempe, Changing Hands bookstore in Tempe at 7 p.m. I'm going to be in Atlanta April 21st and 22nd. So on the 21st, I will be doing 2 book signings. I will be at Postman Books, which you can go to the Eventbrite page and see the addresses and everything, because I can't remember the addresses. But anyway, Postman Books. I think it's between 1 and 3, I believe, or 2 and 4, something like that. And then I will also be at Tall Tales between, I think it's 5 and 6, possibly 6 and 7. I don't remember. Anyway, go to Eventbrite, look that up. And I will also be doing a lecture in the Smyrna, hope I said that right, Community Center on Sunday. And that's also on the Eventbrite page. Selling tickets to that, super affordable. They're $20. There's going to be a VIP thing where you can meet me independently, and it's going to be a group of like 10 people. Those are separate tickets for that. They include the price of the seminar and I think a book. So there that is. Okay. All right. Cool. Carlita, that's awesome. Looking forward to meeting you. Can you explain covert dependence? Tell me more what you mean, because usually dependency is pretty obvious. The person is, you know, doing everything for that person, everything to the point of exhaustion. So I'm not sure what you mean by that. Tell me more. Hello, Deborah from Atlanta. Okay. Chico, Blackbird Books. Oh, that would be a great idea, Carolyn. All right. Thank you. Thank you. I will, Carolyn's a girlfriend of mine from high school. I will IM you later and we'll talk. All right, Smyrna, Georgia. Smyrna. I love going to all these different places. It's like awesome. I love traveling. And Georgia is one of my favorites because the food is amazing. Okay, Smyrna. Okay, will you ever be in California? Yes, I am trying to get this book tour going. And basically right now what I'm doing is I'm just planning things for where I'm going to be anyway, because it's like, you know, I'm going to be there anyway. So I will be in Chico, California this summer, absolutely. So I'll plan something there. And once we get this book signing tomorrow out of the way, the Atlanta one out of the way, I'm supposed to do another one in May in Yuma. And then after that, I'm going to try to figure out where the heck to go. So, and I'm trying to get one together for Honolulu, Hawaii in November. So that's the one I'm trying to plan because I have to be there anyway. So, okay. Oh, thank you, Deborah. I love you too. Thank you. I'm going to be look forward to see you guys. It's going to be so nice to put faces with names and names with faces and, you know, kind of figure out, oh, that's who that is. Okay, cool. All right. Have you ever been to New Hampshire? No, and I've always wanted to go. Oh my God. I see those pictures of like the leaves and everything, and it looks way cool. And I want to go, and I love New York City. I love New York City. So much fun. So cold in the wintertime, though. Probably the same thing with New Hampshire. All right, 5 minutes. Okay, so I covered the jobs that if they're run by abusers, get out. Get out. If there's not the work-life balance, get the hell out. And yes, I want to go to Florida and Detroit. That would be so cool. You know, this is great because now I can show my agent and go, okay, look, guys, they want me to go here, okay? All right. Is rape by deception illegal? As far as I know, no. So it's hard to prove because it's like, let's say that the abuser has said, you know, I'm going to be your boyfriend, I'm going to be your girlfriend, I'm going to marry you, I'm going to, you know, whatever. You can't prove it. It's a he said, she said situation. So it's really hard to prove that that's what happened. So yeah, so rape by deception, I don't believe it's illegal unless you can somehow prove it. And I don't think you really can unless you're videotaping them or audio taping them. And during sex, that'd be kind of weird. So I don't know. As far as I know, no. If you need more information on that, I would seriously consult a lawyer. I'm not a lawyer. I don't play one on TV. So if any legal questions, ask an attorney. Okay. Any mental health professional with a master's degree or above can diagnose. Oh, okay. So somebody was saying, do you have to go to a psychiatrist? Okay. It depends on what it's for. So everyone, at least everyone in my group was trained to diagnose. We were trained on how to do a diagnosis because it helps us figure out what the heck's going on. I hate to break this to the humanists out there, but labels actually do help. So as long as they're used properly. So anyone can diagnose that has a master's degree or above, basically, depending on what it's used for, though. So for example, do I know what I'm talking about? Fuck yeah, I do. But in a court of law, I am not considered an expert witness because I don't have a PhD. I can only testify to what's in my notes. So it depends on what area or realm the diagnosis is going to be used in. So there that is. So, but basically anybody with a master's degree and above can diagnose. It just depends on how and where it's going to be used and whether it is admissible or not, depending on how and where it's going to be used. But yeah, anybody with a master's degree or above can diagnose. Yeah. All right. Psychopath, sociopath, antisocial. What are the differences? None. It's a label. That's all it is. So in the beginning, we called it psychopath. You know, Ted Bundy, psychopath. Well, then it changed to sociopath. And now it's antisocial. And I've had people argue with me on this. Guys, if you look it up in the DSM, it's antisocial. It's basically what we've changed the terminology in the DSM-5, or the DSM, period. Because that's coming up for review again. Don't get me started. So it's basically what is socially acceptable, what is not. So psychopath hurt their little feelings. So then we changed it to sociopath, and now we changed it to antisocial. Basically what it means is they don't abide by the law. The rules don't apply to them. They have no empathy. They have a problem with authority. They don't, ooh, Baba, are you okay? Baba, hold on a second. Baba, you okay? You okay? Okay, you're good. All right. Sorry, got an old dog, and it's hard for him sometimes when he hits tile. Oh, because he starts sliding around. So they don't abide by the rules. The rules don't apply to them. And they see nothing wrong with their actions. There's no regret. There's no moral compass. There's no empathy. It's all the same thing. It's just different terminology. So, and anybody who tells you otherwise is arguing semantics. So, and that's stupid. So there it is. All right. Are abusers drawn to charity work? Yeah, I got 1 minute. Yes, they can be. So if it's to the point, if it's something that they can donate a lot of money to and say, look at me, look at me, look at me, then yeah, they can be drawn to the charity work. It's very unlikely to see them actually in the field, getting dirty, getting their fingers into the dirt, you know, really working with the poor, really working with the homeless, really working with that, this, that, or the other thing. But you can see them throwing a lot of money at stuff so that they can go to the charity balls and go, oh, I'm so fabulous. Look at me. I just donated all this money to the homeless shelter, blah, blah. Do you see where I'm going? So yeah, they can be, especially if there's some sort of reward for it. Okay, hello from Oklahoma City. Okay, I've been narc-free for 13 years. It is so freeing now. I'm working on myself. Good, you. Good, 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 good. Your videos truly help. I'm glad. Thank you, and I'm glad. Hi, Christine. Okay, my narc is crippling me financially, so I got to get out. Could suggest a way to get resources. Okay. Look for a women's shelter. Look for a women's resource center. Women's resource center. So in Arizona, we have something called the Fresh Start Women's Resource Center. And they have ways to help you get your resume going, get you into a job. If you don't have the right clothes, they can help you find the right clothes through donations, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So it's called the Fresh Start Women's Resource Center. And I believe, I don't know, but I think they're nationwide. I don't know, but look into it. You want to check with Catholic Charities, their domestic violence program, see if they have any resources. You also want to check with Jewish Family Services. Okay, guys, we just hit 9:30. I got to go because I got a 10 o'clock. Did I answer all the questions? Yes, I did. Fantastic. So don't forget tomorrow night, Friday, March 23rd, Changing Hands, Tempe Bookstore. Wait, did I just say that right? No. March 23rd, Tempe, in Tempe, Changing Hands Bookstore, 7 p.m. Love to see you guys. Love to put the faces with the names. And it'll be a half-hour lecture, and then I'll answer questions. And then my hair's doing a weird thing. And then I'll take questions, and then I'll sign books and talk with you guys, because that would be great. So tomorrow night, Changing Hands Bookstore, 7 p.m. Be there. Aloha. All right, gotta go. Talk to you guys later. Love you all. Bye.